Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be drawing some mermaids in honor of MerMay. Now when this video is coming out, MerMay's probably almost over, but oh well. So the first thing I did was just draw some mermaids to warm up because I haven't drawn in a while.
It's been a hot minute actually.
I already kind of had an idea in my head of what I wanted to do for the first one. So I was thinking kind of like, you know, those old Barbie mermaid movies with all the pink mermaids and stuff like that. I just wanted to do something pink, honestly. That's kind of it. And as I was working, I wanted pearls to be kind of a focus in the design, or at least an accent, I guess you would call it. So I made sure to put some around the waist and on the top. I wanted her tail to be more of a fanned out tail, I guess. I just didn't want it to look like a dolphin fin, which was how I used to draw them. I like the fanned out fin a lot better. The top I wanted to be strapless, and I also put pearls along the edges of that as well. Just pearls basically anywhere I could fit them without looking tacky. And I wanted her hair to have a lot of volume. When you're underwater, your hair kind of just spreads out already anyway. So now what I'm doing is I'm drawing another sketch with a pink colored pencil. That way I can just go over it with my colors and see if it looks good or not. The pink also blends really well with the alcohol markers I use, so it just kind of looks more natural. I kind of already knew what colors I wanted to use, but I still need to swatch them and make sure they all look good together, which is what I do here in a minute. I'm sorry, it's a little hard to see the sketch under the lighting. The markers I use are kind of like off-brand Copic and Ohuhu. They're called the Cali Art markers, and they work pretty well for me, just because Ohuhu is so expensive now, and I just don't want to spend money, or I just don't want to spend that much money. Maybe eventually it'll be worth it to invest in them, I just don't see how it is right now. So I tested out the colors up on top there, and now I'm just trying to find a nice gradient for the tail. I wanted to start with dark on the top, and then gradually go down into that light blush color. The Cali Art markers blend pretty well, just about the same as every other alcohol marker to be honest, and the price is so much better. Alcohol markers in general are expensive though. Like at first I had a smaller set, but as I was using them more, I put an investment in for the bigger set, I guess. And there are a couple of markers there that aren't Cali Art markers, like that, I think it's called the Tricolor. Hold on. No, it's called the Tri-Blend, that's what I'm using for the hair. The lightest color at the base of the fin is an Artsmith marker. I haven't used the Artsmith markers much, but they do work pretty well. So I didn't record the sketching and line art process for the main part, mostly because my phone does not like it when I record a lot of footage. I personally think the coloring part is the most interesting, so that's just what I decided to keep in. I will say I did use a brown for the line art, just so that it kind of had like a softer feel to it. Sometimes black is just a little too harsh, although I do use that most of the time. But I'm definitely glad I went with brown in this case, because black would have just been too much. Instead of ears, I did those little fin things. I don't know what they're called, but I just thought they looked better than ears, at least for a mermaid, I guess. Well, I like them, and I guess that's kind of all that matters. And her eyes, I also made them pink, just to match the whole theme. I was debating on pink or brown, but you know, I just chose pink. I also gave her a little bit of pink eyeshadow, which I like. And her hair is kind of like a golden brown. I don't really have a lot of good blonde colors, and I didn't want to make her hair yellow, and I feel like if I made it pink that would have just been too much. But I actually like the gold color. I will say, I think I made her hair a little too big on the top, because now it just looks like her skull extends really far up. But I think my love for the rest of the drawing kind of cancels that out, because I do really like this one. I was more excited to design the second one, but I still think I like this one better. Although I will say the second one is probably a little more creative. And while creativity is a big part of art, I don't think you always have to be creative 24/7 every single time you draw. Like, if every once in a while you want to draw a stereotypical Barbie/Mean Girl-esque mermaid, go right ahead. It's your art, and as long as you're having fun with it, I think it's fine. If you're not having fun with it, then draw something you will have fun with. It's better to draw something you've drawn 1,000 times and have fun with it than to burn out and not draw for a very long time, even though you want to. So now I'm just finishing up with coloring the rest of the skin. I probably should have just done that the first time I had the skin colors out. I don't know why I didn't, but oh well. I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to coloring. I just color in whatever I feel like coloring in, even if I'm not even done with what I was coloring in previously. That's just kind of how I do stuff. And it works. I mean, the drawing does look good. I mean, maybe you don't think it looks good, but I think it looks good. So I just wanted to get the skin colors out the way so that I could get to my favorite part, which would be the tail, because I was really excited to start doing that. But I had to finish some other stuff first, obviously. I was nervous about shading with this color because I've done it before and I didn't think it looked good, but I actually think it looks pretty good on this drawing at least. Maybe I'll start using it more because the color I usually shade light skin with is a little too dark. Now we are finally at my favorite part, which was the tail. Now I tried to do it the same way I did with the swatch, where I just started with a light color in the Artsmith. I got all these Artsmith markers. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here. But I got all these Artsmith markers because the Joann's near me was closing. And I actually had no idea that they had alcohol markers. So I just got a ton of them for a pretty good price. So, whenever an art store near you is closing, just check in the back, see what they got. So now I'm doing a gradient with one of my Cali Art markers. And I didn't want to go too far up because I wanted to start shading with the other pink as well. And now we're getting to the part in the video where I don't want to keep repeating the fact that I'm shading, so I'm going to talk about something else, which is the fact that I started this channel at a really bad time because I am in the middle of moving. So yeah, and also I finished this sketchbook that I currently have, but this sketchbook got packed away with my other sketchbooks, so I can't do a tour until I get to the new house. But thankfully, my new sketchbook did not get packed away, so I'm gonna do a video on starting that, maybe decorating the cover and doing the first page, all that stuff. I have yet to find the perfect sketchbook for me, and this is a sketchbook I haven't used before, but it is pretty popular. Let's see if you can guess what it is. I'm saying that as if anyone's gonna comment on this video. It's literally the first video. I don't know, maybe I'll get lucky and people will comment, but I don't know. If you have any guesses, just leave them below. It's probably going to be very easy to guess if you watch other people who use alcohol markers as their main medium, but yeah. Hopefully I'll like it, and maybe I'll finally find a sketchbook that I can stick with. If not, then next time I do a sketchbook tour, just recommend another sketchbook for me. I haven't decided whether or not I like spiral bound or just the regular book bound better. Because with spiral bound, I can turn it over and I can just have one page out at a time like I do with this one. But with the book bound, I don't know what I'm saying. I like the fact that you can see the spine on the book bound, that's what I'll say. Because with my other sketchbooks that are spiral bound, I have no idea which one is which because they all just look the same from the side. I don't know though. We'll see what happens. I guess I'll just have to test it out to see if I like it or not. Okay, in person, the top looks different from the skin color, but when I'm watching this on my phone right now, it looks a little too similar to the skin. I don't know how I feel about it. But anyway, now I decided I wanted to go in and kind of define some of the scales, but I didn't like the first marker that I used. Well, not marker. I didn't like the first pen that I used. So I kind of went over it with a white gel pen just to kind of to erase it, and then I went in with those Papermate pens. I used to love these when I was a kid. I don't know why. I used to beg my mom for them. Maybe it was just I liked how they looked or something. I really don't know. But yeah, I still have them and I use them like for this from time to time. And I'm actually glad I used this because I like it a lot better with the scales more defined. And then I went in with a white gel pen and kind of went over some details just to add some shine to it. Maybe it's just me, but I kind of like the fact that sometimes the white gel pen will absorb a little bit of the ink underneath it, because it gives it kind of like a hue that's similar instead of just straight white. And I know the purpose of the white gel pen is probably just to be white, but I kind of like that little bit of color. Alright, are y'all ready for this crazy transition? Ready? Guys, did you like that? I'm so bad at this stuff, bro. Okay, anyways. So I like my art to kind of look like a scrapbook. So here I put some construction paper down and then chose between a blue and a pink sparkling paper, and obviously I chose pink. You can't really see the sparkle, but I promise it's there. And then I used this scented glue stick. These glue sticks absolutely suck, but they're the only thing I have, so I just have to use them. And then I used the scrap paper from when I cut her out of the paper, and then just glued in these little bits and bobs. I'll show you a zoomed in version of the last one at the end of the video, but now we're moving on to this next mermaid. And this one was inspired by a certain sea creature, the whale shark. And I don't know why, I just think whale sharks are cute and I like their little spots and stuff like that, so that's what we're doing. And yes, I realize that sharks have tails that go kind of the other way, vertically instead of horizontally, but I don't think it would look as good on a mermaid. So I just decided to stick with it. And then I added these fins that the whale shark has on their backs onto the mermaid tail back. And kind of a white little stomach patch, because whale sharks have white stomachs and stuff. I actually had a little bit of trouble with this outfit, but not much. This first one, I wanted kind of like some frills hanging down off the top, but it was giving more jellyfish than whale shark. So I decided to go for something a little more basic. And then, of course, I did the sketch again, this time in blue, to match the whale shark fin and stuff like that. I actually came up with a bit of a story for this. So I think that the pink mermaid and the whale shark mermaid are friends or something like that. And instead of having your stereotypical mean girl bullying the shy girl, I think these two would be friends. I don't know why, I just think they would be. All the girls at my school who are more, I don't want to say popular, because no one at my school is really popular. That's not a thing that happens in real life very often. But they're well known, and they're extroverted. They're all pretty nice. So I just think that the popular girl who loves pink being constantly mean is just unrealistic. Because, you know, the girls I've met in real life, they're nice. Well, unless you're mean to them. But I feel like that's kind of a valid response. While I was thinking about this, this meme kept popping up into my head, and that's what kind of gave me the idea for it. I'm sorry guys, my voice is kind of off right now. I've been sick for like 2 weeks. Well, not sick, but I've had a cough and there's like phlegm in my throat and stuff like that. I really picked the worst possible time to film a first video for YouTube. Like, every single thing is in my way. The moving, the sickness. I've been busy because I had my birthday recently, and then my friend's birthday party was literally the day after, because it was the only time we could get our third friend to come along, because she's always busy with softball and stuff. Yeah, it was a whole thing, but it was still really fun. So I don't regret it. It was just a really busy time. Oh yeah, and for my birthday I got to see Thunderbolts, and it was actually really good. I really liked it. You know, I went because, you know, Bucky Barnes, and I'm a woman. There's not much more I need to say. It's Bucky Barnes. But yeah. But then, as I was watching it, I was relating a little too much to Yelena. And I don't like saying that. I don't know why. I don't like saying that I relate to fictional characters, because usually when I say I relate to a fictional character, it's the worst parts of that character that I relate to. And you know, it's just something that's kind of embarrassing to admit. But you know, I'll say it. I've related to her a lot. Obviously not like the murdering children part and stuff like that when she was a child. I feel like I'm kind of spoiling it, but it's not really a big spoiler. Like, we all know how she was raised with the Red Room and stuff. At least you do if you've seen Black Widow. But yeah. It was a really good movie. I really liked it. I liked it so much that I bought a poster for it, which is something I don't do often. There was one character who I was not expecting to like that much, and it was John Walker, or US Agent. I still don't really like him that much, but the movie made me see him a little differently, and plus, I saw someone in like the comments of an Instagram reel about him say that Steve Rogers was a good man learning to be a good soldier, and John Walker was a good soldier learning to be a good man, and I think that fits him really well. So I have a little more respect for him than I did when I saw Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. I'm really glad I got to see it in theaters. It was a really good experience, and I loved the movie so much. But yeah, back to the drawing. I made her hair the same color as her fin just to balance it out. And I still don't know if I like the top or not, because I feel like it's a little too basic. But the other one, I didn't like the fact that it was giving more jellyfish vibes, so I just went for this. And I got rid of the ruffles because they looked weird in this pose. And now I'm going in with the gel pen again. And this is what I mean when I say I like it when it soaks up a little bit of the color. Because I feel like if it had been straight white, it would have been too strong. But because it soaked up some of the blue, it looks a lot nicer. You can't see it, but I also gave her a few white freckles to match her tail. And I really like how the spots on her tail came out. I think they look really nice, and my cat is meowing outside my door, so I'm gonna go let him in real quick. Yeah, you might hear him moving in the background for a little bit. He's just sitting on my bed right now, staring at me. I don't know why, but yeah. I really like how her tail came out. I think it's my favorite part of the drawing. I don't know though. I really can't think of anything else to say about it. I was originally going to do a third mermaid, but then I ran out of storage. I don't think 20 minutes was enough to record all of it. Maybe next year I can make a jellyfish-inspired mermaid, or maybe a clownfish-looking mermaid. I've seen a couple people do the clownfish one. My mic just died, so my apologies if the rest of this sounds kinda bad. But now we're just having that fabulous scissor transition once again, and this terrible glue stick is back. And that is pretty much it after I glue in the rest of these. So thank you for watching. Here are the final products. I'm very proud of them, actually. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.